start with the project, you will need these basic yarns and wires. Now to make pot, we are going to make a magic ring, and we are going to make one single crochet, and then we are going to make a total of 8 single crochets into this magic ring. And lastly, we are going to close it off by making a slip stitch into the first stitch. Now for row 2, we are going to chain 1, and we will insert a total of 2 single crochets into each 8 stitches. So in total we must be having a total of 16 single crochets for round 2. So lastly, to close it off, we are going to slip stitch and chain 1, and for row 3 we are going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, then again 2 single crochet into the next stitch. So just follow this pattern until the end, and lastly you have to just close it off by making a slip stitch and chain 1. For round 4, we are going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, then again 1 single crochet into the next stitch, then again 2 single crochets into the third stitch. So just follow it along, and you have to slip stitch into the first stitch, and you have to make a single crochet to start with a new row. And for this round, you have to make sure that you are working on the back loops only. And now we are going to work on the part that's going to make it stable. So you have to just, for row 5, we are going to make 1 single crochet into the first 3 stitches, and then into the 4th stitch we are going to insert 2 single crochets. So just follow the pattern that's mentioned above, and you will have a total of 40 single crochets until the end. And lastly, you have to just slip stitch and you have to chain 1. So this is how the base of the pot will look so far. Go on to the front loops that you left behind, and you have to make single crochets there. So just make 1 single crochets into the first 3 stitches, and then into the 4th stitch you have to make 2 single crochets at once. So in total you will be having 40 single crochets for this round. So you have to just repeat this pattern until the end. And you have to make slip stitch into the first stitch, and lastly you have to just chain 1 and start with the new row. So from here we are going to make the rounds of the pot. That's going to be the height of the pot, so you can make it less or more according to your preference. So I'm going to make just 6 rounds from here, and after that we are going to change the pattern. So just go on making 40 single crochets for each round, and you have to close it in the same way like we did before. You have to slip stitch into the very first stitch and chain 1 to start with the new row. So just go on doing this, and we'll reach on the 7th row. For this row we are going to make 1 single crochet into the first 2 stitches, and after that we are going to make a decrease. So for the decrease, we are going to take these 2 stitches and we are going to make 1 single crochet out of it. Just copy the process I'm doing here. You have to bring up a loop from your 3rd single crochet, and then again you have to bring up a loop from your 4th single crochet, and lastly you have 3 loops in your hook, and you have to make 1 single crochet out of it. So you get your decrease. So this is what you are going to make. So just follow this pattern of making 2 single crochet and after that a decrease until the end, and lastly you have to just slip stitch and chain 1. So in the last row we are going to make the design. So for that you have to make a total of 5 double crochet into the 3rd stitch from your hook. And now we are going to make a single crochet into the second stitch from the last single crochet. And again we are going to follow the pattern of making 5 double crochet and then again 1 single crochet. So just copy this pattern until the end, and lastly you have to just slip stitch and secure your yarn. Lastly, while cutting the yarn, you have to make sure you keep a length so that we can use it for the sewing process. So this is how your pot will look so far. Now we'll make the soil. So for that we are going to make a magic ring again, and again we are going to insert a total of 8 single crochet into this magic ring. And lastly we are going to make a slip stitch, and we are going to chain 1 to start with our new row. So for row 2 we are going to make 2 single crochet in each stitches. So in the end we will be having a total of 16 single crochets. So again lastly you have to just slip stitch and you have to chain 1 to start with row 3. So we are going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch and again 2 single crochet into the next stitch. So just repeat this pattern and then slip stitch and chain 1. For row 4 we are going to make 2 single crochet into the first 2 stitches and then again 2 single crochet into the fourth stitch. So repeat this and then we are going to slip stitch and chain 1. And for row 5 we are going to make 3 single crochet into the first 3 stitches, and into the fourth stitch we are going to make 2 single crochets. So lastly you have to just slip stitch and chain 1 and cut the yarn. So our soil for the pot is ready. Now to make rows we are going to make a slip knot and then we are going to make chains. So here we are going to chain up to 44. And then you have to skip the first 2 chains and you have to insert a double crochet into the third chain and just keep making double crochet until the end. So this will be your round 1. And for round 2 you have to chain 2 and then you have to make 1 double crochet into the same stitch and you have to chain 2 and then make 1 double crochet into the same stitch, and you have to skip 2 stitches after that and you have to make 1 double crochet and then again you have to chain 2 and make 1 double crochet. So this is the V stitch pattern that you have to make until the end. Once your row 2 is finished, now we are going to chain 2 and we are going to make a total of 7 single crochets into these V stitches. And after that we are going to make one single crochet into this part, and again we are going to make 7 double crochet and then one single crochet. So you are just going to repeat this pattern until the end. Once you reach the end, you have to chain 1 and fasten off. Now we will be making the sepal of the rose. So for that we are going to make a magic ring, and now we are going to insert a total of 10 single crochets into this magic ring. And once you are done with your 10th single crochet, you have to slip stitch in the very first stitch and you have to chain 8. After making your 8th chain, now we are going to slip stitch into the first stitch, and now we are going to make one single crochet into the next stitch and one half double crochet into the next stitch, and then we will be making double crochets into the following stitches. And lastly we are going to slip stitch into the next stitch from where you started, right there. So just slip stitch, and again you will be chaining 8, and you are going to repeat this pattern like we did for this leaf of the sepal. So just go on repeating this pattern for the sepal until you have 5 of these. And after that you are just going to chop off the yarn and secure it. So this is how your sepal will look so far. Now we'll make the leaf. So for that we are going to make a slip knot, and then we are going to make 10 chains. After making 10 chains, we are going to make single crochets across the chains until the end. So in total you must be having 9 single crochets. Now you have to use some thin wire, and you have to use it and you have to fix it in a way like I'm doing here. You have to make single crochet using that wire, and then you will be making half double crochet on the other side and one double crochet. Then we are going to make a total of 3 triple crochets from here. In case if you don't know the basic stitch, you can check out my other video. It's going to help you to understand the stitches. After 3 triple crochet, we are going to make one double crochet. After that, one half double crochet, followed by one single crochet. And over here we are going to make the peak of the leaf. So for that we are going to chain 2, and we are going to slip stitch on to the very first stitch and just slip stitch. So again we are going to make one single crochet into the same space for the other side of the leaf, and into the next stitch you are going to insert one half double crochet, then one double crochet, then there will be 3 triple crochets. After that double crochet, and lastly half double crochet and a single crochet. Then you will be just slip stitching and cut the yarn. After that you can secure your yarn. Firstly we are going to twist the wire. Now comes the gluing part. So for that you need a glue gun or any kind of strong glue that can hold it up. Now all you have to do is wrap your leftover yarn over it. So you have to just secure everything properly and glue it along like I am doing here. Just follow the process. So this is how our final leaf will look after gluing. Now we'll start for the rose. So for that we are taking the stem and we are going to start from the first side and we'll start gluing. And so just wrap the wire with the rose in a similar way. Once it's nice and secure, now we'll insert the sepal from the wrong side that should be facing the rose, and we are going to glue it together with the rose. Once these two are done, now we'll start wrapping the yarn over the wire. So now take your green yarn and just go on wrapping it. And after a certain length, you have to attach your leaf and wrap it together. And lastly, you have to just secure it using a glue gun and just cut the extra yarn. While inserting your wire through the soil, you have to make sure you are inserting from the right side of the soil. Make sure you roll your wire like a coil, like I'm doing here. This is the way I like to do it to hold it in place so that it doesn't falls off from its place. This is the way I like to fix my pots. Now we'll stuff some cotton inside that pot. So lastly, we are just going to sew our soil part with our pot. So take your yarn needle and then just go on with the basic sewing process and just secure everything properly. Lastly, just make a knot and then hide your tail inside the pot and just cut the excess part. So finally our rose pot is ready. So this is very easy to make and you can make it by yourself and gift it to your loved ones.